Welcome to the next level with Keith, where clarity replaces confusion and simple systems lead to real freedom. Every episode begins with intention, music that centers your mind, lifts your spirit, and prepares you for transformation. This is your space for growth, your place to reset, your moment to rise. Rethinking your thinking, because when you shift your mind, you shift your money. Stack and grow, where small, intentional steps turn into lasting wins. Simple strategies, real progress. Your circle, your currency, because your network matters. Mobile money moves, business, income, and empowerment from the device in your pocket. This isn't just talk, it's guidance, it's strategy, it's movement. Welcome to the next level with Keith. Let's begin.
Back to my podcast, The Next Level with Keith. And this is, of course, podcast number 2. And I'm loving it so far. I'm feeling blessed. I am grateful. And I'm thankful to be here another Monday. And God is good, I can say. And for those of you who are now joining me in this next segment, I thank you. And if you were here last week, I thank you. And for those of you who subscribed and liked and shared and commented, I say big up to you. And as they say in Jamaica, bless up yourself. You know what I'm saying? So we're here to have a wonderful time tonight on podcast number 2. Now the song you heard as this segment started here was a song I wrote many years ago, and it was titled "More of You." And I have fun to do my horn. So I just like music, and I like to share that way. So hope you are relaxed and you get ready for this segment that we called "The Secrets of How Ordinary People Achieve Extraordinary Success." Let me say it again: the secrets of how ordinary people achieve extraordinary success. But tonight I got a little, you know, transparency with you. I'll be honest, I'll be clear. I'm new at this thing here, and I'm looking to grow and become better week after week, month after month. So as you're watching me, and I'm watching you, if you see my eyes move to the left, maybe to the right, maybe up or down or around, is because I'm using my notes so I can stay on track. All right. So if I look away, it's not because I don't find it to be interesting or I'm not looking at the camera. I'm just trying to make sure that I stay on track with my notes and I give you the best of what I got. All right. Because I know me, I can be all over the place. I can be like, Keith, you gotta calm down here. I'll be like east, west, north, and south at the same time. So I'm trying to keep it structurized, keep it harmonized, so that way you can get the best out of this podcast number 2. So let's begin. You know, success is often feels like a mystery, for the reserved few. Only so many people can have success. And many ordinary people reach extraordinary success by understanding themselves. And the key to get to that level is to understand oneself. All right. And aligning your actions with your natural mindset, oh, that is just the way to go. Now, is it easy? Is it always obvious? No, but it's possible. And that's why we're here on this particular segments to guide you through that process, to take it to that nice well of cool running water, so to speak. All right. And so we all have different gifts and different ways that we can impact our world locally, or whatever is nationally, or what is internationally. And so this is my way of doing my part. I'm not a political figure. I'm not considered a pastor or pope, or well, that's a joke, or call it a prophet, or some kind of folks in that category. But in my local area and in my space, I can impact. And I was telling someone recently that I look at churches that's been around for 20 years, 25 years, or even 30 years, and not comparing, all right, or to lessen of what they do or the impact that they have. But you have a church for 25, 30 years, they're around, and they have maybe two, 300 people the most in their church. And the only time they may see an increase is maybe on Mother's Day, or maybe on Easter Sunday, or maybe on Christmas Sunday. They see some kind of boost in their church service. But imagine me just not knowing this ordinary guy who could barely set up a YouTube channel. I had to ask around and beg, please, can somebody help me put together a YouTube channel? And I finally found someone who said, I can help you. And he did. Um, and 10, 12, 14 years later on, I'm looking at close to 3,000 subscribers. I didn't think that was possible. I just wanted to have a place to share what I was doing. And so that could be an impact because those 3,000 people, no, double that number, you having 6,000 people. All right. And so they can go exponentially, but it'll show you that when you think you're ordinary and you don't think you're much, or you don't think what you have is that significant, you may realize that if you think about it a certain kind of way, yes, it can be very impactful. And so for that, I'm very, 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 very thankful. So it's a part of us rethinking who we are. It's a part of us. It's a part of us realizing that sometimes when you think that you are insignificant, that you're small, you can't really impact the world. You can. All right. So that's a part of us really understanding this. Now, unlocking your potential, and I'm gonna say this. I may put my glasses on now and then. If my eyes look funny, please don't laugh, please. I'm begging you. Just be nice to me tonight because the light and everything hit me so hard that I may look kind of weird with my glasses on. But I'm gonna do my thing anyhow. All right. So if not, then I'll take it off and put it on so I can read and make sure I get all my words correctly. Thank you very much. Anyway, so unlocking your potential with Freedom Resource Hub, because that's where you have those blogs. You can check them out. You can see what I'm saying on that level. There are links there that will take you to places where you can get more information and be empowered. All right. So, extraordinary success through tools is what I'm providing here. Techniques. All right. And of course, that leads to transformation. So, you have things that you can get a hold of. Again, like a one stop shop is what I'm trying to make happen here. Sometimes I don't brag about me knowing everything, but I reach for people who know something and knows some good information. I can pull from that and bring that to you so you can have access and have it readily at your fingertips. All right. So people generally they fall into three categories. Right? People generally fall into three categories. And their thinking styles. All right. You have the originators, you have the pragmatist, and the tourism, conservators. Let me say it again. You have the originators, you have the pragmatists, and the conservators. All right. Originators create what? They create ideas, new ideas. They push innovation. All right. You have the conservators, value tradition and stability. Right? You have the pragmatists now who focus on what? Practical, real world solutions that work. For years, right? For years, I struggled because what I tried to operate like an originator or a conserver, even though my natural style is a pragmatist. All right. So I kept asking, but how does this work? You know, I'm thinking, I'm connecting with people who may be a conservator and I'm having like communication issues and I'm not sure why they're not getting what I'm trying to say, or folks who are originators and I'm having this kind of a rubbing going on, and the person is not doing anything wrong. I'm not doing anything wrong, but not understanding those dynamics, right? It caused some issues, some delays in getting to where I need to get to, or to get the message across. All right. Or even sometimes wasted time and wasted energy. All right. In trying to communicate what I want to communicate. And so I felt frustrated, right? And it didn't translate into action because I wanted folks to take action, but I wasn't getting that response. So recognizing my pragmatist mindset, all right, gave me what? Clarity and self acceptance. See, once I got to know who I was as a pragmatist, see, I'm someone who like to balance things, all right? So if you come to me with something wrong that someone did to you, all right, I would tend to want to ask you, well, what was the other side? What did you do? And sometimes I may seem to be insensitive, but I'm thinking, what was your role in that? I want to hear both sides before I come to a solid decision or conclusion or give it the best advice. All right, so those interesting dynamics. I got to understand why I was taking that approach. Let me say welcome for those of y'all coming in on the chat here. I appreciate you guys and your activity here tonight. I welcome it all because you tell me that you are here with me and that you are engaging with me, and that's what I want to happen. That you are getting something out of this. So the thing is that um, the clarity moved internal conflict and gave me confidence to move forward, right, in ways that fit me. It also helped me rethink my target audience and how I communicate. I was saying this earlier. So I got to understand that dealing with someone, I need to understand myself first. And so based on how they're responding, I can get a better idea of what I need to do, how I need to adjust myself and my approach to get my desired outcome and to offer the real support that the person may need from me. All right. So understanding oneself is so important. Are you an originator? Are you a conservator? Or you are a, or are you a pragmatist? So I think there are ways you can find it out. Coaching is a very part of it. Is a good part of that to find it out. I did I did a test. I went through the process. It's a program, and I subject myself to that to understand better who I was. And did it help? Yes, it did a whole lot. And I'm looking forward to learning more about myself because I think when I do that, I'll be able to affect you even more. Now, I do have some things on my iPad as well. It's coming up. Let me make sure that I find it and I can relate to you when the time comes. So. Here we go. Let me just find it. Here, there we go. So when I have it prepared for you, so when I get there, I'll be good to go. All right. So let's carry on here. So how your mindset shapes your path to extraordinary success. How does it do that? How your mind shapes, right, your pathway to extraordinary success. Let's look at that. Before I before this discovery, right, of me being a pragmatist, I tried to appeal to everyone thinking a wide net, right, would what bring better results. Just cast a wide net out there, and that wasn't the best approach. Instead, I faced confusion. That's what happened: confusion, burnout, and inconsistency. Once I understood my pragmatist mindset, all right, I focus on people who want realistic solutions, step by step guidance, and achievable growth. All right. Now, I can tell you off the bat, all right, that I have those solutions. If you are someone who likes to explore, if you're someone who you have an inquiring mind, all right, you can look at my hub, my resource hub, my passive income hub. All right, you can look at my family protection hub. A lot of folks right now have concerns about certain things legally, all right, and want to have some things put in place and not get caught off guard or get surprised when something happens and you don't know what to do. I have hubs that deal with what training and information where you can get good tools, all right, and services. Because I have the experience of seeing some things and say, you know what, let me put these in place because folks are looking for things. And if I can make it easy and user friendly, why not? And so The things that once I understood, my pragmatist mindset, I focus on people who want realistic solutions. Are you one of those folks who want solutions? A lot of you are looking for solutions health wise, something for you to look at. A lot of you are looking for something financial wise. I got something for you to look at. All right. A lot of you are looking for ideas and how to network and how to have a community because you have strength and you have a lot more power in a community when you have different skill sets, different tools, different networks, and folks are have this idea that as a family we can grow together and build together. That's in place, and so I'm just a piece of that puzzle that can allow it to enter into space where you feel a sense of what, a comfortability. You know that you have a voice, you know that you have tools, all right, and you know that there's a sense of care. I've actually done business with entities that it was just transactional and it didn't feel right. And I had to pull back my project because I'm saying if it's transactional, I'm gonna lose. I remember recently I was trying to put together a proposal for some funds because I had a project, as a matter of fact, with my book, to be frank with you. And twice I did it and I was turned down. I didn't get the money I was trying to get. And for some reason I was a bit torn, a bit happy, a bit sad. But again, I'm a pragmatist, so I always say, it's for a reason, who knows what it is for. But I did run into someone, a community, a coach, who took me by the hand. And to make a long story short, in no time the book was not only gone through the correct way and was done the correct way and was, I would say, man, I call it editing on steroids. It wasn't just somebody who just did a random editing, someone who cares about me, cares about the project. And I felt it all the way and didn't take long to see that thing come to life. Now the book is available online and I'm happy about it. And now I'm happy I didn't get those loans that I was trying to get. All right. Because if I did, I'd have got the loan, paid for the project with another entity, and I would have still been disappointed. All right. So after 15 years of writing this book, it felt so good to know that I found the right person who really cared about the project and cared about me to put forward something like this out that I'm proud of. So that's a sign of what it is to have community and the right person in your corner. All right. So this focus made my message clearer and more effective. It also helped me connect better with originators, all right, and conservators, because guess what? I have to deal with them anyhow, right? So I better know myself. And by knowing myself, I can deal with these thinking styles more effectively. Now, I am no expert here. I'm not a doctor. I'm no PhD. I'm not someone who's trying to tell and diagnose anybody, but my experience and the program that I've gone through let me know that these things are real. All right. And you can do your own research, you can do your due diligence, you can get coaching in that area and see what you are. Get a sense of how you can better function in the world dealing with different types of thinking styles. All right. So I learned to respect their big ideas while grounding conversations in practical steps. All right. With conservators, I emphasize stability and proven methods. All right. Knowing how you think shapes how you move forward. A lot of folks right now, they're moving in fear and doubt and insecurities, and I can't, and it's too much, and poor little me, and poor old me, and I don't know if I can do it, and that kind of thing. And our language affects how we move forward. This self discovery is a powerful investment, and it's something I think you want to definitely look into. All right. For anyone chasing financial freedom or early retirement, these are things that you can look into and see how it can help you to get to these things even faster and more effectively. Now, a few years back, right, a client requested my saxophone service. 'Cause so much you may not know, I'm a music lover. I play the horn, the saxophone, and have had a lot of fun with it, and I still do. And I'm very, very active in this city doing weddings and anniversaries and birthday parties, you name it. So it's something I love to do. But a few years back, a client requested my saxophone services and also wanted someone who could play the steel drum. Now, I don't play the steel drum, but I knew someone who did. So I actually reached out to him, and he agreed that he would play with me. He also played the trumpet as well. So he did the trumpet and the steel drum. So yes, we arranged everything, but before we had the event, we had to meet at least once, because you kind of want to make sure that you're on the same page. You have the songs laid out, and you're gonna go for it, with the right plan, so you can have a good, effective performance. Anyway, we were rehearsing, came to my house, and he started discovering that I'm on this platform and I'm getting all these gigs, all these events. And he's like, this guy's just a regular player. No, this is some years ago. I'm a little more advanced now, but at that time, clearly, you could distinguish my level of where I was at the time. And he'd been doing this for a long time. He's playing steel drum and trumpet for many, many years, most on a professional level. You could hear it also in his playing. So him hearing me playing, he's thinking, man, this guy is like a regular, ordinary player. Nothing really jumps out at him as far as my playing. And he's thinking, how did this guy get so many gigs? How does he have so many gigs lined up? He just was puzzled by that. And, you know, I didn't take it negative, but I understood where he was coming from. But I guess being an older guy, there's says some people when they get older, they set in their ways. And I never want to be that way. I think one of my gifts that I really appreciate about myself is that as old as I become, as I'm getting older, I realize that I'm trying my best to be flexible, to be open minded, not to be closed minded. All right. Of course, some things are not negotiable. Some things I'm going to stay who I am and I won't change from some things. But overall, I try to be open. I take risks. I take chances. Yet there may be little chances, little steps I take, but I do open myself for the possibilities of what can happen and what I can do. So I think that is one thing about myself I do appreciate. Anyway, he was again surprised at my 5 stars reviews. He really was. Um, you know, but the thing is that he wasn't approaching me from a rethinking aspect. All right. He didn't ask me like, how did you get those gigs? Or what are you doing to make it happen? Or he didn't get that deep with me to find out maybe it can take some of those roadways or some of those pathways. He just said what he said, almost offensive in a way. But if he had rethink, I'm sure he could have just as much as I was having events. But I didn't seem to go to that direction. And years later on, I think I spoke to him, and he said it was just pretty much just you get gigs now and then, but nothing major. So apparently, he didn't do some things to increase him getting a lot of events. So a roadmap is provided here. I have a roadmap that I kind of lay out on the Freedom Hub. All right, and you can check it out on my page. All right, but are you ready? Are you ready? That's the question I want to ask you. Are you ready to do what's necessary? All right, which is to rethink some of your thinking to achieve the success you desire and deserve. Listen, you deserve it. And start saying that to yourself every morning. I deserve it. All right. Scrolling endlessly on social media is certainly not the solution, right? A good way to position yourself, right, is to what? Join a winning community. I learned four key principles, right, that shaped my growth. And one of the first principle I learned is honesty about skill level. See, as I mentioned about the music just now, I knew that I wasn't at a certain level as far as my advanced level of playing. I knew I was not the weakest either. I knew I was in the middle. So even though some gigs were paying me good money, I knew my skill set. So I didn't jump for certain things, not because the money was there. I got to understand who I was, where my plane was, what where my comfort zone was. And that's why I kept things to where I grew over time and got better. And so I did more things that I felt comfortable in doing, and it worked. So accepting where I was as a saxophone player, right? I didn't put myself into unrealistic expectations and harmful what comparisons. So even guys who could really play, I didn't let them deter me from not doing my thing, or give up, or say, you know what, I can't play like him or her, so let me just kind of just pack it up. I stayed in my lane until I grew to a bigger lane. The second thing is clear target audience. Who is your target audience that you're trying to reach? All right. I had to look into that as well. I define who value my service and focus on messages to them. Now, as far as a sax player, they're people who are considered advanced musician, and they can probably pick apart what I'm playing. They can probably hear my summer notes if I have any, or those kind of things. But I'm not playing for them. A lot of musicians that I've met, they are very selfish. All right, a lot of them that I've met, they don't even want to purchase other people's music. All right, they rarely even give compliments. A lot of them, if they feel that you're not so as good as them. And so I'm not playing for musicians. I'm playing for ordinary people who like music. And it's funny because I give a quick story. When I started on this platform, I actually studied what was in there and looked at each of the players that was on the list. And when I did, I realized that a lot of these guys, based on their resume, I was nowhere close. But I said people like the horn. They didn't say that like if you can play 100 notes in one bar. They just like the sound of the horn, and they like songs that they know. So I said, listen to me, I can't play these jazzy, complicated kind of riffs and stuff, but I can play the pop songs, those nice melodies. This guy named Kenny G, and if you've heard him, he's pretty sweet and basic and not complicated, and he's one of the most popular jazz or sax player in the world. And I'm hearing one of the wealthiest in the world as well. And his music is very simple, right? Easy on the ear. I'm not saying that's the way to go, but I know I wasn't this jazz expert sax player, but I knew that I could handle those simple melodies that people know, those popular songs that people know, and make that list. And it worked well for me. The next one I want to talk about is staying in my lane, which again is accenting the fact that I know my target audience. I get to know who I am, so I stay in my lane. All right. Some places, some gigs, stay away from it. All right. Some gigs is not for you, for somebody else. And I learned that to be effective is to do what I know I can be effective in doing and develop that. All right. The next one is maintain an accurate self assessment. Oh, that's important. Maintain accurate self assessment. Most people have a hard time doing self assessment. It's a very important skill, and it's a very important thing to actually develop, because we tend to not be objective. It's easy to be subjective about your own self and not see where you need growth or development and accept things just the way it is. But a big part of growth is that we got to say, what, where are my weaknesses? What can I work on? And sometimes you may not be able to see it, but you have to apply yourself by going to get the help you need. You go to a coach, a mentor, all right? And that's one way of effectively learning about yourself, because what they'll show you, you'll probably never see in your life. And those are things that I've done to propel me to another level of understanding, because now when I understand, I can now apply, right? So it's wanting to know and then apply. But if you don't know, how can you have the application happen? It's never going to happen. So to know is one thing, to apply is one thing, but knowing would at least give you the extra boost to now apply that knowledge, all right, to get the outcome that you desire. So it's important. So these principles apply beyond music. They are essential for what? Anyone seeking financial freedom or different things, all right, or building a sustainable career. And so that's why I stress so much on the fact that knowing yourself, getting coaching, getting mentorship, and you may hear a lot of those words on my podcast for the ones to come, because I think it's such a key fundamental thing. But guess what, y'all? Coming up next is something real powerful that I want to share with you guys. And I'm telling you, this is going to be something that you want to really, hopefully, take some notes if you can. All right? Because it's how to stack and grow. Yes, yes. So guess what? We're going to stack and grow. That's what we're going to do. We're going to stack and grow. And this is building wealth one layer at a time. So look at that stack and grow. I'm going to get to my cheat sheet here. My cheat sheet here. Call it cheat sheet. Uh-oh. Watch it now. Watch it now. Watch me now. Watch me now. Stack and grow. All right. So one, take the time needed. That's important. Rushing leads to what? Mistakes. Patience pays off. You see, mistakes, you don't want that to happen to you. All right. Patience pays off every single time. All right. So take the time needed. You see, I heard someone say some time ago that when they hear something that excites them or intrigues them or gets their interest, they sleep on it and see how they feel about it in the morning. Sometimes they may pray about it. They may meditate on it and say, let me think about this thing here for a little bit. It may not take you long, but to get yourself in that mind space, of saying, this sounds interesting. You see, we're in an age where it's like a microwave mentality that's taking root in people's lives. They want it so fast, that they're not spending the time needed. The small little time can make such a difference. All right. And sometimes you don't want to go ahead and say too much too fast to the wrong persons, because they might discourage you. All right. So it's important to take a little time that you need and kind of think about things that you can put together, put your thoughts together. The thoughts, that's stacking. All right. Here's the evidence. Impulse decisions increase losing what? Exposure. Deliberate planning improve long-term outcomes. That word deliberate, that's a key word. Deliberate planning improves outcomes. Behavioral data over trading. All right. Behavioral data over trading and rushing decisions. lead to market underperformance. All right, that's number one. Number two is this: test and see if it fits. Align ensures long-term sustainability. All right, so test and see if it fits. Alignment ensures long-term stability. You have to be in alignment, all right, with yourself, with what you're testing, all right, and make sure that you have a connection. A lot of times, folks do things that are they're not passionate about. They're driven by money. I give an example. Say someone has a YouTube channel and is growing to where now they're getting advertisers and sponsors. And someone say, "Listen to me. If you eat chicken, I'll give you X amount of money every month or every week or every whatever it is." You say now, "Okay, I eat all the chicken I want to eat. Give me the chicken. Give me that chicken. I eat it all day for that money." And after the first week or month, you're tired of chicken. You're tired of the chicken. Now, guess what happened? You sign an agreement saying you will eat chicken in every show. Where do you go from there? You weren't thinking far enough because you kind of were in alignment with what you really would have liked or passionate about. Because when you're passionate about something, you do it all day, every day, even sometimes without even pay, because it's a passion. What's the evidence for that? You have over 60% of failed ventures collapse due to what? Misalignment. Business that fits the founder are statistically more likely to last 3 to 5 years. So you gotta find your fit. Some of you may be more hands-on. All right. I remember I did a list some years ago and I was saying that once you do a list of what you don't want in business, someone say, I don't want to recruit. I don't want to recruit nobody. I don't want to sell products um in physical products to people, right? Some say I don't want to make a list of 50 people, like I've heard before. Some say I don't want to do lotions and potions. Some say I don't want to have to meet weekly quotas or monthly quotas. I don't want that regimen. I don't want to pay a high monthly authorship. I don't want that either. I don't want to have to deal with these rigid regimen. And guess what happened? I, who have been in the online space for so many years, and I tried the lotions, potions, pills, and thrills, realized that there's a better way. And because I found a better way, I say, come and join me because now all of what you don't want to do, you don't have to do it here because of what this is that you're about to experience. So if you say, I don't like to recruit, well, welcome home. I don't like these weekly regimen, welcome home. You know what? I'm like 40, 50, 60. I don't really understand this techie age. Welcome home. Is it user friendly? Welcome home. You see? So those are things that I realized that I posted us saying these things and speaking these things. I said, let me just present these things so people can get it. All right. Sometimes folks may have to hear something two or three, 4 times before they understand. Oh, that's what he was saying, or that's what she was saying. No, I get it. So some things is worth saying over and over again because you have new people listening. You have people who didn't listen the first time keenly enough, and the second, third, fourth time, boom, they get it. All right, then they take action. The third is take action. All right, the risk is real, but the reward is worth it. So a lot of folks say, I don't like to take risk, but I say to you, do you live in a house? That's the risk. Do you light a stove? That's a risk. Do you drive in a car? That's a risk. Do you go to work? That's a risk. Every move you make, that's a risk. You go to sleep at night, that's a risk. Many folks went to bed last night and then wake up this morning. I had a procedure done recently, and they put me to sleep. That was a risk. So they had me sign my name saying, just in case something happens to you, When they go under, can't blame us. You're taking that risk. So we're talking small risk, manageable risk, nothing crazy, nothing too wild, right? And things that are super friendly and easy to get going. That's what I'm talking about here. All right. And we look at taking action. Here's the evidence. Calculated risk taken is correlated with what? Higher income growth over time. Calculated risk taken is correlated with higher income growth over time. Delaying action, fear based, opportunity, cost, and stagnation. So I did mention fear earlier on, and a lot of us have fear, and it's really not necessary. All right. But the thing is that as I speak, I find that my heart doesn't beat desperation anymore. It doesn't beat, oh, will they listen or will they not listen? It doesn't beat those beats anymore. I just be myself and I'll connect with who I need to connect with. Those who know and feel that I was the level of vibration or equilibrium or alignment, they will naturally flow and it'll be a goal for both parties involved here. And that's my excitement about it. It's not about trying to be some kind of superhero, some kind of you know what I'm saying, with some kind of genius or guru. It's just me being me. And I think that's what I want to relate to you. And hopefully you'll find value, like I said, in what I do. Now, working in the educational sector gave me what? A bit of security, I must admit. Steady paycheck, coverage, medical coverage, which is important for me and my family. All right. And, the comfort of some stability. All right. Because, the job world is not that stable anymore. Right. These days, it's like you got to watch yourself because a lot can happen very fast. And what you had today is no more there tomorrow. So, yes, stability is important. All right. Especially when responsibilities are involved. It's very important. But let's be honest, stability without growth, that to me is stagnation. All right. And it's nice when you can have a job, but you're working towards leaving the job. You're working towards leaving that situation and transition into something that's powerful, that's more fulfilling, that's more purposeful. You know, um, with the rising cost of what living these days, look at what's going on. It's outpacing our income. All right. I knew I needed more than just a safety net. All right. I did. I wasn't chasing shortcuts on realistic promises. I wanted something practical, sustainable, right, and scalable. Very sustainable and scalable, very important. Something that wouldn't require a PhD in tech or endless hours of my day. Who wants that, right? Something I could stack and grow layer by layer so my income would just sit in one stream. It wouldn't sit in one stream. It would not stay in one stream at all, right? But it will flow in multiple direction. I believe I forgot his name. I believe it was Warren Buffett say one have at least seven income streams. All right. It's important to have seven income streams. Sometimes we're looking for that big lump sum. And that's why you see the lotto makes so much millions of dollars, millions and millions, because folks sells every day that $1, hoping they will hit that $1, hoping they will hit for years, because they want that big lump sum. But sometimes in life, if there are ways to start off small and stack it up and scale it up, then it's a win-win for you. A win-win for you every time. So imagine the freedom that comes with what? Come with consistent additional income. Imagine the freedom. I'm gonna say this because it's very important that I say this to you. We know that in the last year, we've seen over 400,000 black women lose their jobs. All right, that's a scary number, and these are mainly government jobs, federal jobs. Over 400,000, if I'm correct, or maybe close to it. All right, we're not talking about the other races that who lost their jobs, or I mean the other nationalities. I mean, it is one race, right? The human race, but other nationalities. We're not talking about those numbers or the males who lost their jobs. And we talk about AI, who have caused over 1 million jobs to be lost, and more are going to be lost as time goes on. So look at that alone. Look at that number. I feel that, like I said earlier, I'm not a preacher. I'm not a pastor that way. I'm not a prophet that way. I'm not a political figure. But I feel that if I can spread the word here on this platform, and folks can spread the word in their area, where you can start something, and in 2 3 years you can retire. That's powerful. Think about it. Where were you 3 years ago? If someone told you 3 years ago that you could retire in 3 years, would you believe them? Would you have started that journey? But look at what happened in 3 years, and look at what can happen in 3 years from now if you don't make certain decisions now. Look at what can happen in 3 years from now. It's going by real fast, folks. And right now, we're talking about changing your life within 3 years from now. And retire really means that you may love your job. You may want to work there longer, which is fine, but you can retire if you want to. You have that option, you have that choice, right? It's a good feeling. Some people have jobs, and when they're mistreated, they go in the bathroom and cry it off, and they find ways to get around it, and they're hurting day after day, week after week, month after month, but they rely so much on that paycheck or that medical thing because they have no other ways. All right. And we see that having option, man, it's a beautiful thing. So that's one way. All right. We're not talking stocks here necessarily so because people get into stocks and these things for long term. Could be 20 years from now, 15 years from now, which is wonderful. Some people do insurance, right? And when they pass on, their family can have something to build on. That's a different thing. We're talking about now. We can change our lives, have vacations, help someone, support our favorite charity. All right, do some things that we'd love to do while we have our strength. We're not old and and can hardly move. So that's where I'm at, and that's why I want to appeal to those people who are looking for that kind of a life and options. So you want to have multiple income streams, and you rid yourself of the financial pressures that we often face. Um, the thing is that I mentioned passive income, and you may ask, what is passive income? What's that about? It's getting money or making money. Could be daily, it could be weekly, it could be monthly. All right. For me, it wasn't just money. To be frank with you, it wasn't just about money. It was about freedom. It was empowerment. It was confidence. It was options, as I mentioned a while ago. And while many people think this kind of income is out of reach, I got good news. I'm not going to preach. All right. But the truth is that it's accessible, it can be reached. All right. You just need the right guidance. All right. You need a strategy, you need an approach that works. And those are things that makes the difference. You need something strategic, strategies. All right. And you find that, oh my God, it was easier than I thought. It wasn't as difficult. So these are effective measures that we can take. One, we take the time needed. All right. Time to plan, time to rest. I remember days when I was working two jobs. I had a full time job and I had a part-time job, and I'm trying to do the music at the same time. And I find that I was getting burnt out. And I was like, I came to a point where I said, I have to make a decision here. Do I want to have this kind of a schedule where I'm feeling so tired? So I'm working sometimes from 8 to maybe 3, and then I work from 5 to like 2, 5 to 12. And I'm feeling like, oh man, this got to be a better way. All right. And so I decided to make a change. And it was one of the best decisions I made. I took a risk on my music. I said, you know what, let me just focus on that because it doesn't take too much of my time. And then it does give the kind of finances that really is helpful, better than the actual part-time job. And I'm not dealing with these sometimes these unprofessional individuals, who have a little position and they want to treat you like you're nobody. All right. I didn't have to deal with that kind of situation. And then on my gigs, I'm treated very nicely. Sometimes I get to eat, drink what I want. If I need parking, they pay for my parking sometimes. And so it felt good. It was like something called self actualization. How you feel about yourself, how you feel about your situation. And it feels really nice to do something that I love, passionate about, and getting paid for it. Yes. So I had to leave that job that seemed more secure and more sure, but it wouldn't benefit me emotionally or financially or physically the way that it should. So a lot of us right now, we have a second job that we wish we could change or wish we could get rid of and focus on one for now. And some of us, we want to do full time our own thing, and that will happen too. Right? That's why you're here, and we're gonna make it happen for you because as long as you're willing to open yourself, as long as you're willing to say, you know what, I will take that step. I will make a decision. I will take action. Watch what happens to you. You're gonna be amazed as to what happened. All right. Second thing is that you want to test and see if it fits. All right. So alignment again ensures long-term sustainability. Alignment ensures long-term sustainability. All right. So you have testimonies of what you do. You make sure that you have those things down. Don't despise those. All right. Thing that you may think that's not necessary. Something that you learn. Write things down. Keep a note of things. Very important. All right. And sometimes do comparison. All right. And watch things over time. And you can say, you know what? I can take this direction. I could take that direction. I can combine these two things. All right. But you're testing, you're open, you're pliable. You're not, it doesn't work. So everything doesn't work. Too many times people say nothing works because one thing didn't work for them. The folks I meet now, and I would say, how about this program? And say, well, oh, one of those programs. That's the wrong mindset. They don't they haven't even seen it yet, but it's saying, oh, it's one of those things. Or all these things that work, and they miss out their blessing. Um, so that's a very important thing for you to understand. Also, you want to take action. Oh, that's a big one. All right. Now, think about an action. Think about your first time you decide to get your Facebook account when you saw it advertised, or your LinkedIn account. Think about when you decide to get your first YouTube account. All right. Something that you never thought you would, or maybe a smart device. Many of us, we're coming from the age where we had those old Stone Age kind of phones, I mean, the flip ones where it just kind of text and talk. And when the more advanced phone called smartphones came out, we're like, I don't know, it's too much, and that kind of thing. All of a sudden, you say, let me try this phone here. I remember when I first saw the swipe, the screen, we could touch and swipe on the screen to get what you wanted. I resisted that thing. I said, no, I like my button. I want to press something. I want to feel something pressing in my hands. And I'm like, the guy said, you're going to like it better I said, no, I want my phone that can press. And when I tried my first phone, my first smartphone, I said, oh man, I was missing out here. I was missing out here. I remember when they had the earpods, and I was just using the wire. I said, I like my wire, man. I like my wire. And they kept breaking, popping, and oh my gosh, and tied up and all the kind of fancy stuff. When I finally got my earbuds, I'm like, wait a minute here. The freedom, the flexibility. I'm running on the track. I'm doing exercise. I'm driving, and don't have the wire there that's constraining me, that's restricting me. So you try something. You take that step. For you, it might be something different. All right. Some of you maybe you've been partying all your life, partying and going doing things that you know you probably shouldn't be doing. And you say, you know what? I'm gonna go to church and see what happens. I'm gonna try something different. So you walk into a church, your life is now changed. You're like, wow, I was missing out so much. So in life, there are many things that we have to try. Take action. And that's what we're about here. I made a statement last week on my first podcast. I said, you know what? We either grow or go. Here we either grow or we go. All right. So yes. So taking action we know is a very important thing. And of course, it leads us to another segment that is very important because your circle, your currency, that's a very important thing that you have to realize. Your circle is your currency. Who are you around with? Who is encouraging you? Who is discouraging you? Who has the business sense? Who is saying you can grow? Who is saying change that? Who is saying think about this? Who is saying what have you doing? What are you doing with your life now? Who is saying what have you done in the last 6 months or last year or last 2 years? Who is saying where do you want to go in the next couple of years? You know, and it's funny because I know that for a long time I didn't understand the importance of my circle. And there are folks who I would talk with, and I would leave feeling like I'm drained, like they came and dumped on me. And it was something financially beneficial, or emotionally beneficial, or physically beneficial. They just had to dump, and I was just a good listener, you know, would listen on in and walk away feeling like, oh my goodness, who just left the whole weight on me? You know what I mean? So it's not that we can't be with people who we can help or inspire, because that should be the motive. All right. There are folks who come to you and they should walk away being more empowered, being more encouraged, all right, and being on the mindset of growth. It shouldn't be just neutral or where you're left feeling drained or less than. All right. So your circle is very important. You know, I've ever shared an idea with someone, all right, a new direction or business plan, or even something personal, a personal project. And then before you know it, it was shut down immediately. Or you just share something and they shut it down before it could open up. Well, I've been there, right? Over 20 years ago, I wrote a song called Be Alive and Live, right? And it's still tucked away in my archives, still is. One of the line in that song says, the one to whom you're close can hurt you the most. So a lot of times people maybe around you, well meaning, they may even care about you and love you, but their vision for you is not for you. Their advice for you is not for you. All right. And if you listen to those people, it'll set you back permanently. And so that's why that's why it's important to understand that you circle. And the minute I change some of those circles, I find my life growing, improving. I'm getting new ideas, fresh ideas, and I'm inspired to do more, and do it quickly. You know, I did say something earlier. I want to revert back to about what I want to do for people, what I'd like to bring about is that right now, in America right now, where I live, there's seemingly a silence among many people, blacks and brown people, I can say that. And a lot of folks are thinking now, what I thought was stable is not stable anymore. And we have not connected where we should have been to our own countries, where we came from. A lot of us have disconnected from our humble beginnings, our country, and we came to a new land, and we have not connected effectively back to our mother or back to our land. And so we're wondering, where do I go now? Where can I go now? And I believe that there may be a time that's coming when we'll hear you have X amount of time to make a move, whether to move here, move there, leave here, or leave there. And many people will be stuck because they have not prepared themselves financially to even make a move. There's always a call to do something sometime before action, before disaster happens or something bad happens. I'm not here to be negative or to be doomsday kind of a talker here, but the reality is that sometimes we need to observe our environment, observe what's going on in our world, take a note of things, and we realize that we want to prepare ourselves. I believe between now and 2030, we're going to see a lot of major changes, y'all. The next 3 years from now, 3, 4 years from now, is going to be extremely different and it's moving very fast. What are you doing to prepare for that time that's coming? What are you doing now? Right? One of the ways you can prepare yourselves, besides being besides spiritually or emotionally or mentally, is financially. Because that will give you the mobility to move and do things. There's a scripture that says, money answereth all things. Money answereth all things. All right? You can do stuff with it. All right. So your circle is important. So how do you protect your vision while still growing and connecting? Here are a few strategies to keep your momentum strong. All right. So how do you protect your vision while still growing and connecting? How do you do that? All right. Look at these strategies here and tell me if they make sense because I think they do. Seek out a good coach or mentor. Like I said before, you might be hearing that word a lot on my podcast. Mentorship, all right. Coaching, very important. A mentor provides guidance, encouragement, and perspective. Someone who sees your potential even when others can't. That's deep. Guess what? Number two, be mindful about who you share your ideas with. I did expound on that a little earlier because not everyone will understand or support your vision. Protect your energy and share strategically. In other words, when you share, make sure it's with somebody who can add on to that, enhance that, encourage that, or give you even more insight on how you can make it even sharper. Right? Celebrate small wins. You know what I do sometimes when I have small wins? I'll buy something kind of expensive, like an expensive meal that I wouldn't buy every day. I do that. Right? I shop somewhere where I don't normally shop. Sometimes even junk food I have and get me that junk food for that reason, just to have it because I want it. Celebrating small wins. All right. Because, see, you're saying by doing that that I'm grateful. You're not waiting for the big thing to happen to feel something. You're thanking God, thanking yourself, right? And you're thanking for the circumstances that allow you to have those small wins. Very, very important. I heard someone say, do you know how I know I'm rich and I'm really, really well and I'm extremely blessed? He said, I woke up this morning. I woke up. I mean, that's so deep. Sounds simple, but I actually woke up because many folks didn't. And I opened my eyes. I mean, my eyes are open. I could see, man. I could see the room I was in. I could see what was around me. Then I could hear. I told my device, hey, play this for me. And I heard. Guess what? I smelled my arm. I said, it's working. Wasn't the best smell, right? But guess what? My body's working. Chemicals are working. I used the bathroom. There are folks who have, listen, let me not get too deep with this stuff, but let me just keep it moving before I get a little too grimy here. So the point is that, all right, the point is that it's important to celebrate those small wins, all right, and also visualize the success. Sometime what I do at nights, I actually turn on my little device and say, play some ocean waves for me, and I have it play softly, and I'm imagining myself on this beautiful boat, beautiful coconut trees, sunset. Oh my God, the cool breeze blowing, the sun hitting on the corner of the mountainside, hitting me. I'm there laying on this nice cot with a nice glass of something virgin, no alcohol, y'all. I'm trying to be nice. I'm sitting back and I'm enjoying the cool evening breeze, not too hot, not too cold, on this island that I don't know what it's called, but it's just beautiful. Imagine those things, seeing those things in your mind's eye. I think it's a beautiful thing. What do you think? All right. So it's important to understand and see those things. See yourself as a success story. All right. Um, when you believe in something, no one can take it from you. All right. And when you start believing those things, you will refuse to take criticism from others. And when others criticize you, it will lose its power. Amazing stuff. And your circle can either be your fuel to what? To your brake. It can be your fuel to what? Get into the next level. So choose wisely. Protect your vision. Celebrate your growth. And keep flying. Your best days are what? Ahead. Your best days are ahead. And guess what happened? It leads me to something even bigger and better right now. Guess what happened, y'all? Are you listening? Are you tracking? Mobile money moves. That's the next segment. Yes, yes, yes. Mobile money moves. Easy ways to earn. And let me take you down to what I have for you on this one here. Using my iPad. Mobile money moves, y'all. And guess what happened? Check out these important information here. And you can find them, by the way, in my Freedom Hub. All right. They're down below. You can find them there. And you can definitely find it in my passive income hub. And you can just definitely revisit these things, and it's a good reminder. So mobile money moves. Turn now into next actionable steps. One, don't dwell on past failures. Focus on your future success. Now, I did said earlier a bit where you might have failed before, more than once, more than two times, more than three times. But don't let that be the focus. If you get in a car, the most important mirror in the car is your front mirror. Is your front mirror, not the side mirrors or the rearview mirrors. Your windshield, the biggest glass in the car, because it's important to stay ahead. Now, can you glance back a little bit and your left and your right and see what's going on back there? Yeah, but you don't stay there. It's a reminder that I'm actually leaving that place. I'm going ahead. But your focus is on the future. All right. We start with a clean digital lane. That means don't get stuck into what didn't work. Don't get stuck into, I don't know, XYZ. Now we living in a time now where we have a lot of access to digital stuff that makes things very, very easy. All right. Like I said, you have your smart device and Wi-Fi. Nothing should be able to stop you at all. All right. Turn lessons into what? Lessons. That's important. Everyone you meet is a potential person. Everyone that you know in your circle is a potential person that they can share something with, not being over the head. But as you become equipped, you know how to handle and deal with that particular market or community that you're part of, your sphere of influence. Skill skill stack via micro learning. I guess some folks when they hear learning, they say, "Oh no, I was in school for X amount of years. I don't want to learn no more." But listen, we all learn whether we want to or not. Just that when we learn involuntary, we don't appreciate that kind of learning. But imagine you take some direct steps to learn some things, small things, not big things, small things. And if you can actually be loyal to something right now that I'm sharing, you can win massively, right? Not about how good you are with techie stuff or your computer skills, or you have a degree in computers or a degree in these kind of technical things, but you can make a decision. You can listen and you can click a button. You can win. All right. All right. Automate. Don't ruminate. That's interesting. Automate. I like that. So the point is that, folks, things are these days are very automatic in many ways. And those are systems that I have in place where you're not worrying about tracking it yourself. Right? I can take you to a website right now where if you see it in the back office, you'll be like, you got to be kidding me. It can't be this easy. It can't be this plain. It can't be that direct. Where everything is there visually for you to see. And I understand it almost overnight because someone did the hard work to make it happen for you and me. That's why things that I do has to appeal to the masses. Has to appeal to it has to have a mass appeal because I'm a layman kind of guy. And because I like it simple, I give it simple. Looking at two, respect the process. Every opportunity comes with a price, and that's okay. So, what's your price? What would it cost you? Some folks are big on big ticket items, big stuff. They want to get a big website done and all these things. But how about a small ticket item? Imagine a lot of you would say, I can't spend X amount of money per month, but you to buy four large coffees for the month, which supersedes the cost of that thing that would have made you money. The last time I went to buy coffee for a small, it was almost $4. Small, not the large, for a cup of coffee. I buy four in 1 week. Imagine I do that. That's over the cost of what I would pay for some programs right now to get started, to actually change my financial trajectory. And there are folks who buy three, four coffees every week for the month and don't think about it. So I'm talking about a cup of coffee a day for 4 weeks. If you subtract that, you have a business that's going, you can build something strong. That's here. All right. Now, pay small, win big. How's that sound? I think it's very self explanatory. Pay small, win big. Trade time before money. All right. Trade time before money. All right. A lot of folks made that mistake. All right. And so, therefore, the time is gone trying to get the money, but what is it that you're actually doing to get that money? What are you doing to get that money? Some folks work two jobs, and when they finish paying taxes, they find it wasn't even worth it, and they find that sometimes at the end of the day, they they still short with their monthly expenses, and they're tired and they're burnt out. All right, build before you broadcast. Yes, and that's also self-explanatory, and that's what we're doing here. So we're setting the example. I want to set the example for those who are coming. So whatever you're building, right? What is a small building or a big building? Right, you build before you broadcast. I think that can also be very effective in having folks trust you and believe that, listen, you know what? If you can do it, I can do it too. Track everything. Very important. I begin to do that more lately, where I'm writing things down, taking notes. I got something on my phone, and if I show you, you be like, wow, I have so many notes and so many different things that I have, because sometimes I go back to it, and it's very helpful, very useful, and you tend not to lose important things, because some things, when it comes to you, if you miss it, it never comes back again. And if it does, it won't be the same way. So keep a notebook with you, or get a smart device, write the notes down as you come. As the ideas hit you, you write them down, because it's going to prove to be very important for your future success. And three, act fast. Procrastination is your worst enemy. Action is your biggest friend. Publish. All right. So I'm sorry. Let me say it again. Procrastination is your worst enemy, and action is your biggest friend. So action taking, oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. 24 hours, the 24-hour rule. You know what that is? All right. We all have the same hours for the day. We all do. What we do with it, it's going to be very different. Publish, messy, improve publicly. All right. Publish, messy, improve publicly. One tap, monetization. How does that sound to you? Voice notes over overthinking. Record, keep those things, because those are what you use to keep you in lane, keep you flowing, keep you guided. So we see that in my passive income hub, which you can find on my page. You'll find a program that provides the flexibility. All right, every entrepreneur desires. We want flexibility, not too rigid. Whether you're a beginner, and let me stress that, whether you are a beginner, someone new to the business landscape, or an experienced entrepreneur who has faced setbacks but remain determined that I win, this method makes earning achievable, practical, and engaging. Someone said, it's in there, it's in there. There's an old commercial some years ago, and it was a sauce that was advertised on TV. And the aim was that it's in there, it's in that sauce. Try it and see. All right. So you're literally just a few clicks away. I'm saying that literally. You're just a few clicks away. Look at my eyes, looking like a ghost. You're just a few clicks away from starting your journey as a freedom chaser. Are you a freedom chaser? I know I am. Do you want to be a freedom chaser? All right. And I said the method is here, the means is here. All right. The team is here, the support is here. And if you just make that step, we'll take two. Take one step, we'll take two. So, key principles for success that I want to look at here is, don't dwell on past failures. All right. Respect the process, because it's a process. You may not get it right the first time. It may seem slow. Respect the process. And again, act fast. Timing is a very important thing. Some things in life, it's timing. It's not how smart you are, not how well versed you are, it's really timing. And I can't overemphasize that enough. So act fast because it will be to your advantage. Um, Procrastination can be your worst enemy. It really can. So by acting fast, you will see exactly where it can take you. So mobile money moves. It aren't just about making money, they're about freedom, flexibility, and building a life on your own terms. Wouldn't you like that? Building a life on your own terms. It's powerful. Start today and take the first step toward financial independence. All right? Take the next step to unlock your extraordinary success. Take it, take it, take it. All right? You don't have to be special to accomplish extraordinary results. You really don't have to be. All right? The secret, understanding yourself and ensure your actions align with your mindset. All right? The secret is to understand yourself and ensure your actions align with your mindset. Join a community of freedom chasers. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? All right. Place It's a place to discover your strengths, refine your strategy, and maintain accountability. Take the next step and take it today. Reflect on your mindset, assess your circle, explore new opportunities that's there for the taking. Your journey to financial freedom and personal success begins today. When do you want to begin? Now. When do you want it? Now. Of course, the now is the mindset, right? But again, the process is what we're going to respect. Success isn't limited to a select few, it's available for anyone willing to step up and claim it. Which brings me to the end of this podcast. I thank you for checking in with me, and I hope that you gained some insights, took some notes, because I believe the best is yet to come. The best is ahead. And again, I want to thank my producers, fantastic, and those behind the scenes making it happen here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and you, the audience. You know I love you and appreciate you. And like I said, you keep it coming, because I'm gonna keep it coming. And see you on my next podcast. God bless.
If today's episode spoke to you, it's because you're ready. Ready for your money to work for you. Ready for practical steps, not just motivation. Ready for faith-led financial freedom. Ready to build stability, peace, and confidence for your family. You're not alone on this journey. The Next Level isn't just a podcast. It's a movement toward freedom, one episode at a time. Stay connected. Listen anytime at podcast.keithmerritt.com. Explore the Next Level Movement Hub. Subscribe on YouTube at Keith Merritt. Like, share, comment. Your engagement helps this message reach more families. Take your next step. Visit keithmerritt.com/impact/the next level. Subscribe for the latest blog from the Freedom Resource Hub and join the Next Level Resource Network. Choose the hub that fits your journey: music and speaking, family protection, digital learning, passive income, or Keith's book and reading hub. Press play. Take action. Your next level is calling.